So, Jai Srimanarayana. So, welcome to the Satsang, Bhagavad Gita Satsang today. So, we are discussing the Sankhya Yoga, second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, we are discussing the first four slokas of the actual Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, as we all know by now, that all the great acharyas consider the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, actual Bhagavad Gita, is the 12th sloka of the uh, second chapter, Sankhya Yoga. Because until that point, um, Arjuna was expressing his grievance to Krishna Paramatma. So, and 11th sloka is when actual Paramatma started talking to Arjuna to address his grievance. But actual 12th sloka is considered the very first sloka of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna Paramatma's Pravachanam. So, and the very first four slokas, 12, 13, 14, 15, these four are considered the Gita Chatushloki because these four are considered the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Consider like a tree when it is in a seed form. The seed has the entire structure built into it, which can grow out into a tree. So just like that, these four slokas are the kind of the root, the seed of the Bhagavad Gita. And everything else after this is a kind of expansion of the Bhagavad Gita. So now we discussed 12 and 13 last couple of weeks. So today let's try to discuss 14 and 15. 14th sloka, I'm going to chant now. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agama payino nityaha tan titikshasva bharata. So, this sloka, so we'll understand, we'll dissect what this matra means and what is Krishna Paramatma talking. So in order to understand that, we need to have little bit of background he obviously is talking about sukha and dukkha. Like we all understand what is sukha and what is dukkha, right? Dukkha is sorrow or grief or difficulty or challenge. I mean, the sorrow out of a challenge. So it could be, so it's talking about sukha dukkha and sita ushna, meaning bodily cold and hot, right? So he's talking about that. In order to understand that, like what sukha dukkha is, there are three types of tapa. I think we discussed like in the chapter 1 also. There are three different types of tapas we call in our scriptures. We all experience three different types of difficulties which causes difficulty, basically root causes of difficulty, right? Causes of difficulty, we can say, right? They are also called tapas. So I think probably some of you may already know. The first one is Adi Bhautika Tapam, right? We discussed this Adi Bhautika Tapam, and we'll briefly discuss what they are to. And what is the other two tapas? Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, and Adhyatmika, right? Adhyatmika tapa. So these three types of, these are the three root causes of our grief or sorrow for human beings. But the difference between human beings and other types of living forms, like animals, is that they mostly have only these two. Adi Bhautika and Adi Devika. Adi Bhautika is mostly about the causes of grief from the Panchabhutas, like we all from the nature, right? From the nature, whatever other animals or maybe uh, some because of where maybe we are walking and then a thorn we walk on thorns and then that hurts us. So those kinds of from the nature, whatever causes of grief that we get, that is Adi Bhautika. And Adi Daivika is because of the energies, natural forces, like maybe because of fires, forest fires, or maybe earthquakes, those kinds of things which are related to the natural forces which we consider as Devata forms also, energy forms, right? They are Adi Daivika tapas. So these two are common for human beings and animals, right? We all agree, right? These two are very, they are the same for every living being on the planet. But this third one, Adhyatmikas, are very specific to human beings in the sense which are related because of the Atma, Adhyatmika, Atma here, Atma caused by the Atma. In this context, it is the Atma is the Manas, right? So our Manas is something which which kind of subjects ourselves to uh, cause grief. So because maybe we kind of feel somebody got something which we deserved, we thought we deserved, and they unfairly took advantage of us or things like that. If those kinds of things are very specific to human beings, right? Adhyatmika tapas. So we are so when we feel kind of either because of a jealous or fear of others, other beings, or so those kinds of things which even though unwarranted, sometimes we feel that could be the cause of our grief. And typically animals don't have this because they are instinctual, and whereas we are both instinctual and we are guided by our manas and buddhi, which the animals don't have. Animals or trees don't have. They are very instinctual. All of their actions are driven by their instincts, right? So now because these adhyatmika are also because of our relationships, according to our acharyas, these adhyatmika tapas are also because of the way we form relationships in the social system, and all the relations we have to our friends and family. And what our Acharya says is that these relationships, as long as they are inspiring us to do our dharma, so these adhyatmika relation, they are due to the relationships which we have within the society, and this is specific to human beings, right? Uh, and and these are the because of the relationships to other human beings, and as long as they are driving the us towards the righteous action or dharma, that is good. But if they're causing us to do the wrong thing, then that is not good, right? That's what our acharya says. And because of these complicated relationships that we have in the society, and this is the due to which the sorrow arises basically. And this is the reason our Sri Krishna Paramatma says that we need to have something called Titiksha here. So Tan Titiksha was Aswa Bharata. Titiksha is um, uh, we can say it is endurance or opika. Basically, in Telugu we call opika or forbearance or endurance in spite of difficulty, right? So the titiksha which we need to have because of this endurance we need to have because of the Adi Bhautika and Adi Devika. I mean, everybody agrees that these against these it's very easy, but the adhyatmika tapas, the difficulties or challenges that are caused because of the adhyatmika tapas, um, and endurance against those is the most difficult part, right? So that is why, and since it is special to human beings, and every human being has to develop that titiksha, and that is this is because of the what our acharyas say is that is because of the bhuta bhautika sambandhalu, meaning material relationships. The bhuta, panchabhutas, we are all, our body is made up of panchabhutas, and other human beings, other life forms on this earth are also made of the panchabhutas. Panchabhutas meaning earth, water, fire, and air, and space. Right? These four, five panchabhutas. We are all made of it, and these between these bhutas, bhautika bhutas, the relationship is uh, it causes the adhyatmika tapas. So we need to have titiksha. So now, what exactly is in order to understand we need to understand a little bit about this word matra, right? So I mean, this is something we use regularly in our term, and we will come to what exactly that means, right? So when these all of us human beings, we are made of panchabhutas, the person next to us is also made of panchabhutas, but the jiva, the soul which is in the body, that is in a sukshma sharira, according to our scripture, right? So this the sukshma sharira, as we also discussed last time also, it is, imagine, our acharya says, imagine like a small tablet or capsule in which the soul is sitting, and which is kind of controlling that, which cannot be seen by naked eye or any of the instruments that we have today. So that sukshma sharira has the jiva inside of it, and then that has something called Bhuta Sukshma Amsha. It's a little bit terminology here. In order to understand what matra is, we need to understand we all know Panchabhutas, right? Panchabhutas are what we can see around, like earth, water, and fire, and everything, right? Yeah. So, etc. But there is a miniature version of these Panchabhutas, which is called Bhuta Sukshma Amsha. So a small amsha of these five elements, it is called Bhuta Sukshma Amsha. And these subtle elements are called Tanmatras, actually. So imagine a Sukshma Sharira. We are inside this body, and ours, and these five elements, a miniature version of those five elements are attached to that sukshma sharira that we have, right? And and that is what, through which we are communicating to the external panchabhutas, right? So, and those miniature versions are called tanmatras. In a way, they are like the bridges to the outside world. So we all know, basically, outside to the outside world, we are um, we are communicating through the indriyas or sensory organs, right? So basically, this Sukshma Sharira is through the Tanmatra, it is communicating with the Indriya, and the Indriya is communicating with the outside world. Right? So it's like this. Sukshma Sharira, imagine it is contained in a small tablet or capsule. This has a Tanmatra around it, which is the miniature version of the uh, Panchabhutas, right? Miniature version of Panchabhutas. Okay? So this is the most important part actually. So it's like kind of without understanding this, we wouldn't understand what the matras, sparshas, and how do we control the sukha dukkhas, which Krishna Paramatma is talking about, right? So this tanmatra, Sukshma Sharira is communicating to the tanmatra, and tanmatra is communicating to the indriyas, which is the sensory organs. And this is communicating to the outside world. Outside world is uh, Panchabhutas again, which are bodies made up of Panchabhutas. Made of Panchabhutas. Right? So this is the how the flow happens. So this Sukshma Sharira is in which we are there, and then Tanmatra, this is like the bridge actually. This is like a bridge to the outside world. To the Indriyas and then Indriyas to the outside world. Okay. So now this Tanmatra, or these are also called Matra, these are communicating through the Indriyas to the outside world. That is why any external influences like a cold weather, for instance, or hot weather we are experiencing from outside world, that has to pass through this Matra. So that's why Matra Sparsha has to be there. So sparsha, we all know sparsha meaning, right? The sparsha is a touch. In Sanskritam, sparsha is touch, right? So these tanmatras are touching the outside world and getting those experiences into the Sukshma Sharira. So we are feeling that experience, right? So the so this matra sparsha, so that's what Krishna Paramatma is saying. Matra sparshastu kaunteya. So the Sita Ushna Sukha Dukkadaha. Sita means cold. Ushna Sita is cold and Ushna is hot, right? And Sukha Dukkha. So these are different experiences that we get from the outside world through these matras, right? Through the matras spashas, which are the matras are the subtle forms. These are the miniature or subtle elements, basically subtle elements of these panchabhutas. Right? So now this Sukshma Sharira is the actual body. I mean, we learned in the previous sloka, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavananjara tadha dehantara praptihi. This deha antara, meaning when the jiva or atma is leaving one body at the end of the life to go into outside to get another body, that dehantara prapti, when it is happening, it is taking the sukshma sharira along with the tanmatras and indriyas. Indriyas are five indriyas we have, and manas is the sixth indriya, right? Indriyas are five sensory organs, and plus the manas is the sixth one. So this whole thing is going from one body to another body. All right. So when the dehantara prapti is happening, the sukshma sharira, which along with these tanmatras and indriyas and manas, it is traveling from one body to another body when the Dehantara Prapti is happening, right? That is what the Matra Sparshas, right? So that's actually this is a concept which Sri Krishna Paramatma is going to talk in the 15th chapter also. Again, we will learn. But this is a fundamental about, so what our Acharya says is, this is similar to if you take a bean, like we call chikudugaya and all those beans, right? The beans, it's a small bean. When you plant it, the entire tree comes or plant or the creeper comes, and then from which thousands of beans again come, and then each of those beans has multiple seeds, which itself is capable of generating again another tree, right? And then that is generating another thousands of beans again. So in a way, that seed is potent. It's kind of completely purnam. We call purnam. Purnam is potency. It has full potency to generate thousands similar to it. So just like that, this Sukshma Sharira with Tanmatra, and the Tanmatras, that seed is also called Tanmatra, actually, in that example, Matra. And that is capable of taking the Sukshma Sharira into multiple other bodies. So that is the example, right? So now these tanmatras, five tanmatras are there, like which there these tanmatras. There are five tanmatras which are Shabda Tanmatra, Sparsha Tanmatra, Rupa Tanmatra, Rasa Tanmatra, Ghrana Tanmatra. Each one corresponding to that corresponding Indriya, corresponding sensory organ, right? So, so these the Matra Sparshas, the biggest secret here, what Krishna Paramatma is giving inherently here is, if we are able to properly control these matra sparshas, meaning these tanmatras touches or sparshas with the outside world, then whatever happens to the body need not necessarily become something the inner jiva must experience. So that is the tanmatra control that they do, like the great acharyas or great sadhakas, they do. That way they don't feel, not only that, I mean, of course, even the physical things like hot weather, cold weather, those kinds of things, even we can tolerate to a great extent. That's not the big deal. But the experiences which are caused by the adhyatmika tapas, which are related to the manas, right? So those are something which it is very difficult for us, uh, for regular people to control. Whereas those who understand this concept, they handle those stresses really well, because they know, I mean, with practice, everybody can accomplish this. All right. So, and what Krishna Paramatma is saying is that these Sita Ushna and Sukha Dukkha. So Sita Ushna is more related to the physical body, whereas Sukha Dukkha is more related to the manas, right? So, there is a subtle, he is giving, Krishna Paramatma, being a great teacher, he is giving excellent example. This is something we understand, Sita Ushna, which is related to the body, so we all experience. And whereas Sukha Dukkha is something invisible or it is only felt by the manas. So he's telling, just like how we get over these Sita Ushna, and or the root cause of these Sita Ushna is this Matra Sparsha. Similarly, Sukha Dukkha is also because of the matra sparshas, right? So, and what he's saying is they are agama apayinaha nityaha, meaning they come and go. Agama means come, and then apayinaha means they go. Nityaha or anityaha. Agama payinaha anitya also we can say, or agama payina nityaha, meaning they come and go and they are always there. And then they anityaha means they, since they meaning they won't be there forever. So anitya, so nitya, when we say nitya, nitya means we all know, right? There is always there being. Nityam, we are doing this means always we are doing every day. But anitya means they are temporary. They don't exist long, right? So what Krishna Paramatma is saying is that these sukha dukkha's are they always come and go. They are anityaha or nityaha. They are there forever or they are temporary, both ways. Right? So therefore, what you need to do is tan titikshasva bharata. So endure them. He's saying just titiksha, develop this endurance. So how do we endure when it's a very common sense that when it is summer and when it is hot, we all take care, maybe even if we are exposed, somehow we take some remedial measures, maybe we put on fan or air conditioner or whatever we do to reduce that tapam, right? So whatever Shitoshna, the physical causes, we are very good at handling them. But whereas when it comes to the sukha dukkhas which are caused to the manas because of the adhyatmika tapas, because of the relationships with the others, either loss of I mean, in this context, Arjuna is fearing the loss of his guru, beloved guru and grandfather. So it is Adhyatmika Tapa in that context that he is fearing the loss of the dear ones. That applies to everybody. But not only that, because of the relationships we experience, because when people may mistreat us or ill treat us, or people may misunderstand us. So those kinds of Adhyatmika Tapas, he's saying Krishna Paramatma, they are always there. They come and go. So don't think that they are permanent. It is temporary. And then develop uh, a swabhavam called titiksha, a nature. Develop it is a very extremely necessary, right? And so, in order to make him understand about this titiksha, he did not give right away in the beginning, but he had to tell that body is different from he said, dehinosmin yada dehe. So, and then, so he was telling about the Atma, and the distinction between the body and soul. And now he's giving the titiksha is something we need to develop, right? So it's just like how do we, so I mean, in this context, for Arjuna's sake, uh, he's telling that it's the universal truth that we all know. Our Acharya gives an example that when you meet people, uh, you go in a train or airplane, they take very good care of you, and then but that's all temporary, right? And then your longer journey is continuous beyond that. So don't think that that part itself is the final, right? So and then because of the riddance of that luxury, don't say that I won't do my duty, right? So even those these grievances or tapas that are causing the grievances happen, you still need to continue to do your responsibility. So, and your dharma should never change because of these agama paina things, the grievances, the come and go the grievances. So that's essentially what Krishna Paramatma is saying. And this actually we can see, let me pull up this diagram. I think this will probably give us a clear picture. So this is about the 14th sloka summary. So animals and birds relationships are very temporary. There we see some kind of a familial structure there, but it is very, very, very minimal. Whereas in human beings, relationships are very complicated. Because of those relationships, we get these adhyatmika tapas, and then because of that, it's even more necessary for us to have the titiksha, right? So these relationships should be for us to conduct our dharma. And when we are in a positive network to do good deeds and continue our dharma. And these, because of these, so this is what I was talking about, right? So this basically these subtle aspects, which are tanmatras, they are the miniature versions of these five Panchabhutas. And these are the five tanmatras. I mean, this is written in Telugu actually. Shabda tanmatra, sparsha, rupa, rasa, grana. Each of them correspond to each of those bhutas. And then these tanmatras and the indriyas and manas together with the sukshma sharira is what the jiva is taking from one body to another, one body to another, one body to another. So this is like this. This is the sukshma sharira. And then these indriyas, and then these tanmatras are the bridges. So in this capsule is like that's why actually in Telugu we call it a tablet or capsule. We call it like a matra. I mean, I'm thinking maybe that has a root in this tanmatra, right? I mean, so that's the Sanskrit word matra is a capsule. So along with these components, these five indriyas and then manas, and along with the tanmatras, the jiva is taking from one body to another. Just like a seed is a tanmatra which can go, which can reproduce multiple, like its own, right? So this gives a clear picture of like what tanmatra is, and once we understand this basic concept, and we try to go in the next step to the journey of how do we handle those, how do we develop the titiksha, right? So, and the most important thing what Krishna Paramatma is promising is everything is agama apayinaha. They come and go. Agama apayinaha. So they are not permanent. So anityaha, right? So just go ahead and endure is the titiksha. So just do not stop the duties because of these tapas, right? And so we have to continue our journey. So, and tanmatras are like the bridges from the soul to the outside world. They are the subtle or miniature versions of the Panchabhutas. And so patience and duty. So that's what Krishna Paramatma is telling us in the 14th sloka. Any comments and any feedback on this? What we learned in the 14th sloka? What the tanmatras? I think the tanmatra concept is very little. It's a difficult concept, but once we understand, I think, I mean, then we don't have to look back to again. I mean, without understanding that concept, if we move forward, we don't feel the completeness of the knowledge, right? So, um, so that's the 14th sloka. Now, if we go to the 15th sloka, so actually, the what our acharyas say is that the Bhagavad Gita is a scripture of instruction for human beings, like we know, right? Basically, we all understand that. But this is like a theory how one should conduct themselves in the real world. But the practical application of this is in the Ramayana, right? So where our Acharya makes that connection, and Bhagavan Valmiki, he explained how we or the method of practice or conduct, and whereas Vyasa Bhagavan, he gave it in the Mahabharata, the teaching of Sri Krishna, right? So we should listen and practice Ramayana, whereas we listen and understand Bhagavad Gita so that we can continue that practice, or our summarization basically. The entire Ramayana summarization is the Bhagavad Gita. So, and they are like for human beings, they are like two eyes, and both should have the same goal. What our Acharya says is that if even though we have two eyes, we understand an object like just one object. If the two eyes see the thing differently, two different ways, then we have to go to the doctor. That's some disease, right? So that's why they are together. They have to be. They have the same goal, basically, end goal. And Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna Paramatma spoke about the Titiksha, and Titiksha against the Adhyatmika tapas, that is fully in Ramayana, what Sri Rama has displayed throughout his avatara time, right? So, and also our Smriti scriptures, it says the dharma. So basically, this is all about dharma, Bhagavad Gita, and throughout Ramayana, in spite of the difficulties, he used Titiksha to continue his dharma throughout we know he's faced so many difficulties, but in spite of all the difficulties, he did everything according to the dharma, uh, having the Titiksha. And so, and there is a sloka in Smriti, Najatu kaman na bhayan na lobhat, dharmam त्यजेत जीवितस्यापि हेतोः धर्मो नित्यः सुख दुःखे नित्य त्वनित्ये जीवो नित्यः हेतुरस्य त्वनित्यः. Meaning, either because typically people leave the dharma because of three reasons. This it says, right? Kama, bhaya, and lobha. So any desires, like where they don't, the desires are coming in the way, and we go out of the way, out of the dharma way to satisfy our desire. That is one. And then out of fear we go out of the way, and then we don't follow dharma. And then out of greed, lobha also. So these three different and them are reasons because of which we like take a wrong route, adharma route, many human beings. But the Shastra is saying, don't take that, and Jivo nityah heturasya tvanitya, dharmo nityah sukha dukhe tvanitya. So tyajye jivitasyapi hetoho. Even at the cost of life also it says, like, don't leave dharma, and and that is the that is a prescribed philosophy, right? So, and that is what is being said in these 12th, 13th, and 14th and 15th slokas. The 12th sloka, it is talked about the eternality of the self, right? So, natvevaham jatunasham, natvam neve janadipaha, nachaiva na bhavishyamaha, sarve mayamataparam. So, there is no time when you are not there or I was not there. He's talking about the soul being eternal. That is the first one, the 12th sloka. The 13th sloka, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. So, he's talking about the temporary nature of the bodily experiences. Tada dehantara prapti dhira statrana muhyati. Dhira doesn't get distracted by that. It's a temporary nature he's talking. And then the 14th sloka is talking about the matra sparshastu kaunteya, the need to endure the pleasure and pain with equanimity, right? So that's what the third principle that is being talked in this Smriti also. Right? So, and then the fourth one is the 15th sloka, Yamhina Vyadhayantyete Purusham Purusharshava. We will understand what is being taught here, right? So, shortly, what exactly is being taught. So, these, so this, that sloka, what I mentioned earlier, is saying Jivitasyavi heto, meaning even at the cost of, at the risk of life itself, we should never retreat from the dharma. Should not take the adharma route. Uh, right? So, uh, and the point is, the question that will come up is, why should we even do this practice, right? Why should we even develop titiksha? What are we getting? What am I getting in return? That would be Arjuna's question. Why should I go through all of this thing and develop titiksha, do this thing which I don't like? And what's the point of all this, right? Uh, the reason which Krishna Paramatma gives later on in the Bhagavad Gita is the to help us rise to a higher state beyond the qualities and tendencies we have accumulated through our karma. And that's a very well loaded statement, meaning we all got this body and we got these qualities and then tendencies because of our past karmas, right? And our capabilities, our thought process, buddhi, how it is working, it's all because of the karmas we accumulated in the past lives. But in order for us to go to a higher state, I mean, always we work for it, right? Like when we work for an organization or company, this year I am getting $100. I expect next year to go to $120. I don't expect to go to $80 down, right? We always aim for the higher state. What our Acharya says is that the reason we need to adopt this titiksha so we don't go in the adharma route is because we want to graduate ourselves into a higher state beyond what we got in this life. I hope that makes sense, right? So, and just because of those three reasons I was mentioning, right? Kama, bhaya, lobha, those things. If we take the detour, then we are going $100 to $80 again. So because this is not permanent, so these smaller gains sacrifice the longer term goal, right? That would be that would be the equivalent of going in the wrong route. So so then why then the question arises in a layman's mind. Um, so why do I need to even endure it? In a way that has been answered before also. So But Arjuna's point is going through this route of participating in this duty, only hardship comes, and then I have to eliminate the people who I like. And there is no direct benefit or indirect benefit also for all these actions that you are asking me to do. Um, so in a way, there is a proverb in Telugu, right? Why do we have to face the trouble and then endure and then come out of it while we can still avoid? There's a saying, right? All of you know, Adusu tokkanela, kalu kadaganela, right? Why do we even need to step into the dirt and then come out of it carefully and then wash our feet? Why can't we take the detour out of the mud? And the muddy area, that's what we think. But in this case, if the dharma requires you to go in that path, which is the difficult path, adopting the endurance is what is going to lead us to the next state, which the Krishna Paramatma is saying here, Amrutatva. Here there is so Amrutatvaya Kalpate. Saha Amrutatvaya Kalpate. Amrutatvam is the state which is the kind of, we can translate it to being immortality. Immortality in the sense, immortality of the knowledge that we possess. Right? So something eternal, being eternal, not bound by the karma. And so those kinds of things. That is what Amrutatva. So what is he saying? Yam hina vyadhayantyete purusham purusharshabha. Here, why is missing? Yam hina vyadhayantyete purusham purusharshabha samadukha sukham dhiram somrutattvaya kalpate. So this previous sloka, the Titiksha, that is, we need to connect. I mean, these are all like a chain actually. There is nothing individual here. When we develop Titiksha, Titiksha can be at the bodily level and the manasic level also. Bodily level, we all know the Sita Ushna, the heat and cold endurance against them is very simple. We can, I mean, all of us can practice it and get it. But the Titiksha for the mind, right? That's what he's talking about mostly. So, then, I mean, so then does it mean that do we stop reacting to those negative experiences? Right? That Acharya poses the question when heat and cold are being experiencing, then does it mean that we should stop feeling it completely? And Acharya gives an example. If you put a dead body, heat, ice, or anything, it doesn't feel anything. So that's not the case. We are human beings living. So we feel the pain. Uh, then that feeling the pain is the sign of life in us. Right? So if you don't feel the pain, then it is almost like a death or dead. But the feeling the pain and the endurance is what Krishna Paramatma is saying. And here he saying these um, if we experience this hot and cold, merely changes happening in the body, but you should not change. That's what Acharya says. We should not change, meaning take the detour from the dharma as we were talking earlier, right? So you means here it is our jiva, and whatever dharmic duty is assigned to us, we should continue to perform that. That's all. I mean, no matter what happens, right? The no matter what situations arise, a duty that is allocated to us as a human being, as a dharmic. So that we should participate, or we should continue, and that is what will lead us to this cultivation of the patience is what leads us to the amrutatvam. We can attain the amrutatvam. Krishna Paramatma is declaring that we attain amrutatvam. When do we attain amrutatvam? When we do sama dukkha sukham dhiram. Again, dukkha sukha. Sukha dukkha came in the previous sloka also, right? Sitoshna sukha dukkadaha. And that is connecting here. Sama dukkha sukham dhiram. So, well, whoever sees sorrow and happiness equally. So, sama dukkha sukham dhiram. So, whoever sees them equally is who attains the amrutatva. Is that really possible? Right? Sorrow, and the point is, it is easily said than done. I hope you all agree, right? How can we treat dukkham and sukham equally? So it's just giving a simple sentence and then, okay, go and treat them equally. It's not that easy. Right? So whenever somebody does some work, the technique Swamiji is giving here is, whenever we do some work, if we have attachment and taste arising, the attachment and taste for the happiness arising from it, right? Then if that happiness goes away, then sorrow arises, right? So, like Swamiji gives an example. If somebody is giving a job to go to a beautiful place, maybe a beautiful forest, somebody has to go and then do some job. They go and perform the duty, and along the while they are enjoying the surroundings, looking at the nature's beauty, then that is okay. But um, but the goal should be on the job that he is supposed to perform, right? So and the focus, if is on the job, rather than completely devoting selves to the beauty of the nature, then what happens is, when the person returns from that place back to home, then he feels that is missing, right? That causes sadness. It's a very simple example that we all know. Basically, we all know. It's basic common sense, right? But that example, if you extrapolate to the real life, any work that we do, if we develop too much of attachment to the happiness or the arising out of it, or the results coming out of it, then it leads to dukkham when we lose that. So then we can't treat that dukkham or sukham that is coming out of it equally. This is a technique, right? So it's in the statement is simple, but how do we get there, and how do we treat them equally? Treat the both dukkham, which is sorrow, and sukham equally. Equal sama means equally. Is that as long as uh, the focus should not be upon things present there. Focus should be on why you are there. In that example where the person is sent on a job, the focus is on why you are here, like in this human life. We extrapolate that to the human life. If we focus on why we are here, And we received this body for experiencing a karma and practicing dharma. Therefore, practicing dharma is primary for us, and not the too much of attachment to the external um, luxuries that are caused by the matra sparshas that we talked about in the previous 14th sloka. Only when the attention becomes fixed upon those things, then that is what is gives like a, we attach to the happiness or sorrow that is coming out of it. So we should be like the person who is sent on a job to do a job, and then just like that, human life also we do our duty, more focus on the duty of what our really matters, rather than attaching ourselves to uh, the result. And this is what we will discuss continuously throughout Bhagavad Gita. That's why the the 12th to 15th sloka, you understand that it is the seed, right? This is hidden. It is hidden in this thing. But he is going to extrapolate, like this is going to come out like a tree. These four slokas are going to come out like a tree into the 700 slokas. Everything is hidden in this thing. If we understand this basic fundamental here, then we can understand the entire Bhagavad Gita thoroughly, and we can connect it back to this back to these slokas, and that's and so and the treating the dukkha and sukha equally is something that if we do like our job, as I was saying, then we treat even sorrow like a joyful or peaceful. Actually, our Acharya gives an example. Kunti Devi, she made a prayer when Krishna Paramatma, he said after the war, battle happened and all the difficulties, challenges of Pandavas are taken care through the victory. And he says, okay, bye bye, I'm leaving to Dwarka, right? So then Kanti Devi says, Vipadaha santunaha saswat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yat syat apunar bhava darshanam. Meaning, so if hardships are what are constantly make us remember you, Krishna, then let those hardships always remain with us. So she's talking about hardships or difficulties are uh, good because they are close, making you close to me or making me close to you, right? When there are no hardships, even Pandavas wouldn't think of Krishna. They think of Krishna when they are facing challenges. And then Krishna, because they are good people, he is with them, dharma, followers of dharma. So, um, Kunti Devi is praying that let the difficulties, challenges be with us. So you be with us because our mind will be fixated upon you. So, but if we don't want to invite any troubles into our life, but if we are focusing like that, even without having any difficulties, then that's all. That's all we need, right? So, um so when sorrows fall upon us, we should be prepared to receive them. That's what our Acharya says. When pleasures arise, we should not think they will remain permanently. The agama payana anitya, right? Like in the previous sloka is saying, right? So, but what our Acharya says is should learn to experience sorrows with composure. Yes, it will feel the pain, but face it with composure and then thinking that it is temporary. And only when whoever cultivates this while carrying out their duties, whoever practices with such steady endurance and forbearance, only that person becomes truly elevated and is worthy of attaining the Amrutatvam. That's it. That is the secret, basically. That's Krishna Paramatma is giving directly. Samadukha sukham dhiram, so amrutatvaya kalpate. So that's the essence of this, and this 15th sloka. When the 12th sloka I said, right? So The Natvevaham Jatunasam is about the eternity of the self, right? The 12th sloka. The 13th sloka, Dehinosmin Yatha Dehe, that is about the temporary nature of the body and then the soul being permanent, of course. That. And then third one is about that's the Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, it's talking about the endure the pleasure and pain with equanimity, right? Whereas this Yamhina Vyadhayantyete is about importance of performing one's duty without being swayed by transient emotions. And that is what Samadukha Sukham Dhira. Right? So if we understand these four slokas, that's it. We are very fortunate. And let's just review this one picture finally. I think we'll wrap up after this. Let me pull this picture up. What we learned here, the summary. So basically, Ramayana is the practice, and then Bhagavad Gita is the theory, teaching. But they have one goal, to establish dharma and guide human life towards the amritatva, which is the moksha. So both scriptures must look in the same direction. If not, we lose wisdom, right? And Titiksha is the 14th sloka, means patience, endurance. So enthusiasm in doing one's duties teaches us to carefully endure difficulties. And these are sukha, dukkha, heat and cold. There is a one technical word which will come is dvandvas. These are called dvandvas, right? Dualities. So they are equal and opposite, they're dualities. So that we are going to talk more about them in the future slokas. So this is from the Smriti slokas I was chanting earlier. Desire, fear, or greed. These three are the main reasons people get around the path of dharma. That's what we need to be very careful of. That's what says. So, yamhina vyadhayantyete. So, one who is not disturbed by the pairs of opposites or dualities or dvandvas. One who is steady and equal in pleasure and pain. Such a wise person becomes fit for amritattva. So, and so how to live with equanimity in duty. So these are some of the techniques which our Acharya gives, right? So focus on duty, not on pleasure. Understand your goal. See sorrow and happiness as temporary, which is agama apayanaha, dedication to dharma, equanimity, with equality in mind. So then Kunti Devi's prayer. So hardships are something to be also enjoyed because that makes you close to the Paramatma. Accept the sorrows. Do not think pleasures will last forever. Experience both with composure. Cultivate titiksha through practice in duty, steady endurance. The result is one who practices is worthy of attaining amritattva or immortality. Final assurance by Krishna, one who is not disturbed by these, who is steady and equal in pleasure and pain, such a wise person becomes fit for amritattva. So that's the essence of 15th sloka. Any feedback, any commentary? Yes. All right. Jai Sriman Narayana. So, thank you. Jai Sriman. We'll wrap up with the sloka. Ending sloka. Om Agne Naya Supadharaye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidvan Yuyodhyasmad Juhuranamenaha Bhuishtante Nama Uktim Vidhema Om Purnamidam Purnamadaha Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम Om Namah Paramarishibhyo Namah Paramarishibhyah Om Namah Paramarishibhyo Namah Paramarishibhyah Om Asmat Gurubhyo Namah. Jai Srimanarayan. Jai Srimanarayan, everybody. Talk to you all next week. Bye.